everybody. Thank you for joining this lunchtime event. We have very special speakers from EE, and you're going to be hearing from Sophie, who works in the retail training and development team at EE, and Wendy, Cliff and Chris from the retail team, who are over 50 and work in store. And on this webinar today, you'll learn more about the EE strategy and their retail channels. You'll hear about what they look for when hiring. You'll understand more about their selection process, learn about the benefits that they offer, and hear from 3 of the retail team for a real day in the life experience of working in their stores. So I'm delighted to welcome our host, Sophie Hammond, who works in the EE Retail Training and Development team. Sophie has been in the industry for over 14 years. She started as a part-timer, progressing through to store manager before following her passion for people and becoming a regional training professional. So before I hand over to Sophie, just a few housekeeping comments. The event will run for 45 minutes. Please post any questions that you have in the chat function, and Chris and Claire from the Retail Talent Acquisition team will be on hand to answer them during the event. We ask that you stay muted for the duration and feel free to leave your camera on or off. The event will be recorded and will be available to view on our YouTube channel on the site. And without further ado, I'm going to hand over to Sophie.
Lovely, thank you. Hi everyone, I hope you're all well. Thanks Claire for that lovely introduction as well. So I'm Sophie. I am really excited to be part of this event, and I have some brilliant things to share with you. So let's take a look at what we're going to go through. So Claire, you've already mentioned a few bits there, which is great. So the purpose of today's event is to give you an idea of what it's like to work for EE in our retail stores. We are always on the lookout for great people to come and join us, and rest assured you do not have to be a tech whiz kid to work here. I'm going to take you through EE's purpose, strategy and priorities. We'll also talk through the key skills and capability that help people in our stores live up to our values of being personal, simple and brilliant. Hopefully after today's event, you'll be interested in applying for one of our roles. So I'm on hand to talk you through our recruitment process and how it works. And we have the experts themselves, Claire and Chris, with us from the recruitment team to be able to answer any questions. So please do use the chat if you have any. Of course, I absolutely have to tell you about the amazing benefits EE offer employees. From discounts to volunteering days, there are so many to share. And what better way to really get a feel for what it's like to work here than to hear from some of our retail team. Firstly, I'm going to give you a brief overview of our purpose, strategy and priorities. Let's start with our purpose, to connect for good. EE is part of BT, and our shared 2030 ambition is to be the world's most trusted connector of people, devices and machines. Everything we do to meet our purpose and ambition is underpinned by our 3 values, which are personal, simple and brilliant. We deliver a personal and local service. We support our vulnerable customers. We keep the UK working, the kids learning and people connecting. Our customers rely on technology more than ever, and we need to adapt to deliver it. Our Connecting for Good plan is what will make it happen for everyone, which leads me nicely into our strategy. Build the strongest foundations, our network. So being the leading full fibre network and #1 for 5G, will bring together fixed and mobile to give our customers the very best. We continue to transform our digital platforms and systems to keep things simple for our customers and our colleagues. Create standout customer experiences. We put the customer at the heart of everything we do. We are passionate about being #1 on the high street, offering a personal and local service to everyone. And we set our teams up to ensure they have the relevant support to be able to create a great experience every day. And lead the way to a bright, sustainable future. We are helping millions of people gain digital skills. We support people to develop their own career, and we have fun along the way. As for our retail priorities, we have hybrid retail. Now, this allows us to connect to customers in a different way. It's almost like having a mini call centre in the back office. But by doing this, it supports us with keeping retail relevant. We are number one for iPhone. We have and continue to grow and increase our EE home broadband market share. Our 5G network will be available to 20 million people. We aim to provide full fibre to 20 million households. Now that's the fastest and most reliable connection. And of course, our people are always a priority, ensuring they have everything they need to be brilliant and feel great. So let's now have a look at how we reach out to our customers. And we have lots of different ways of supporting people. And this is what makes up our retail estate. So we have our stores, whether that be on the high street, retail parks, shopping centres. I'm sure you've all seen them, and hopefully you've visited them at some point. We currently have just over 300 stores. We have our franchise, so we have great partners in franchise, giving us 138 stores so that we can service our customers in more places. We also go out on the road with our trucks, so this enables us to pop up in different areas all across the country. Hybrid retail, as I've already mentioned, it's like having a mini call centre in our back office. Now we can reach out to and connect to our customers in our community, but also we can take calls from customers to reduce their wait time for anyone that's looking to transact over the phone. And then finally on this point, we have SME, which stands for Small Medium Enterprises. This ensures we can provide a brilliant service to our business customers. So this slide hopefully will give you an idea of some of the skills and capabilities that our retail team have grown and will continue to grow. Hopefully this highlights how exciting these roles are. There are lots of different requirements and every day is different. We ensure that our people have the training and development they need to give them a wide range of transferable skills. There is always something new and there's always something we can improve on. And as the world evolves, we evolve with it. So let's now take a look. Ash, who's actually with us today on this session, and myself, a few weeks ago, we had the pleasure of catching up with some of our retail team to find out their thoughts and feelings on working for EE, and what better way to give you an idea of what it feels like than to hear from them themselves. So we're going to start off by hearing from the lovely Wendy, who works in one of our retail stores.
So we are here with Wendy. Wendy works in our Manchester Market Street store. Good afternoon, Wendy. How are you doing?
Andy, I'm great, thank you. How about you?
Absolutely
Thank
fine.
you.
Absolutely fine. So, Wendy, first off, I just wanted to introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about your background with EE. How long have you worked for us, and things like that.
Okay, yeah. Well, my name's Wendy Crowther. I've worked for EE for 5 years now. A few different stores: Trafford Centre, Rochdale, Stockport, and currently in Manchester Market Street store. Yeah, helping people to, you know, with the mobile phones, making it very easy and simple. And I'm also really good at broadband as well, helping people with the broadband connections.
Excellent. So with you coming into EE then, what was it that attracted you towards the job?
So what attracted me towards EE, I was doing some promotion work, which I just thought I'd do for a very short time. So to understand phones, technology, which is really important in today's world. And then I just loved the vibe in the shop, in the EE shop so much. I mean, I used to work every day with Nathan and Andy, and honestly, I never laughed so much. It's just more of a community in there. And 5 years later, I'm still here, having a laugh and enjoying the teamwork, loving the community as well. So, yeah, I keep saying I'm going to leave, but, you know, I'm just loving life in EE, so I'm here.
It's great to hear, isn't it?
It really is, absolutely.
Wendy, a lot of people think that this industry is more of a young person's game. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I still feel really young, so, you know.
And you look fabulous, by the way.
Thank you. Well, really, you know, maybe it is a young person's industry, but it's really important, especially, you know, to understand phones, because everybody's got a phone. You know, it doesn't matter, age is just a number. Everyone's got a phone, and it's whether you know, can work it correctly instead of really relying on people. That was the thing for me. I didn't want to rely on anybody. At this stage in my life, I was like, I need to understand phones, you know, so I'll get out there into the forefront of learning about them. And like I said, I was only going to stay a year, and I really know a lot about phones, whatever phone, a lot about broadband. It's very refreshing and liberating to understand what's happening out there in the world, in the technology world, because without that, you're going to struggle.
I think that's really interesting, actually, because like with people that might be thinking of coming into this industry, they might be thinking, oh, I need to know this, I need to know that. So can you tell us a little bit more about what's available in terms of the support when it comes to product knowledge and technology knowledge and things like that?
Yeah, of course, you don't need to know anything. You just need to get yourself in a position where you're in a shop, you've got all the support. I mean, in my shop in particular, I am a bit of a broadband queen. So if anyone wants to know anything about broadband, I'm there, sat with them, helping them day in, day out. And there's someone like that in every shop. So if you're wondering about Apple or wondering about Samsung or wondering about any type of phone, there's someone around you all the time. So there's no need to be worried about, will I know this, will I know that. Go into it like I did, knowing absolutely nothing, probably scared to death. Phones, but you know, there's people all around you, loads of support. It's your own little community, and it's just amazing.
Definitely. I mean, there's lots of tools and systems as well to help you, isn't there? So if it's not the techie stuff, you know, all the spec and the phones and what they all do, what other stuff do you do in store? You know, what's the biggest part of your job?
So the biggest part is creating a really safe space for our customers. The customers come in, they sit down, and you know, we just really make them feel welcome. By the time most of them are going out of the store, they say, I feel like I'm your friend. I went, well, you are. You've met me for half an hour now or an hour, depending. You know, it's about creating a safe space for customers, because a lot of them don't understand phones. And when you don't understand something, it's very frustrating. So I try and talk to them in a very simple way and make the life easy. And you know what? I have so many customers that come back to me all the time. This week I've had 2 lots of chocolate. One was hotel chocolate, which I really love. And I have people, I mean, I've even got, you know, they're even like, can I take your phone number? And they take me for coffees and, you know, phone me up about their own needs as well, which I don't mind, because, you know, it's hard sometimes for people. So I only know a little bit more than everyone else out there in the wild world, you know, but that's all you need to know.
Sounds like you're making a real difference, though. Sounds like you're putting smiles on people's faces,
Definitely.
Which is what it's all about.
100%, yeah. And I think something that's really important there, right, is you talked about creating a safe space, like for those people that don't necessarily know a great deal about technology. So again, touching on this being seen as a young person's industry, what do you feel the benefit is to the business of having people from other demographics being working for the company and being in our stores?
Okay, so take for instance, you know, both the student and the teacher. So, you know, we can look at it from 2 angles. We've got all these amazing students around me, which are, you know, people of a different age gap than me, but you know, the student and the teacher are both teaching each other at the same time. So although, you know, a lot of the people in store will say, oh, you know, I'm their mentor, they are mine as well. So, you know, we encourage each other. Do I pull a lot out of them by being their mentor with my wisdom? Yes, but also, you know, everybody's teaching, so it's a 2-way street, really, that.
Oh, I love that.
Absolutely. 100%.
I want to be part of your team, Wendy.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, you can do.
Do you feel that you've learnt lots of new skills whilst being at EE the last 5 years?
Absolutely. Some kicking and screaming. Yes, absolutely. Every time they implement a new system, I'm like, oh no. But you know what? That's what makes us grow. That's what stretches us. That's what makes us learn. Everything, change is a constant in this world. So if we're not changing or a new system, you know, we're not going anywhere, are we? But the systems are definitely, there's a whole lot. I mean, I'd really just like them developed into one system, which would be amazing. But you know what? As soon as we're doing something new, keep doing it. And you know, it's like anything else in life. It's very familiar.
Well, it's such an ever-changing environment, right? The industry is constantly growing and changing. Obviously, the pandemic has had a lot to do with that, and that's sped up a lot of the business's progression, especially into the world of hybrid retailing as well. So just tell us a bit more about what we mean by hybrid retailing and what that means for you within our stores as well.
So what it means for me is, I you know, that's kind of an isolated learning. I love being in a shop, I love being face to face, I love being with people. So that's more of an isolated learning, I think, on your own. I definitely prefer being out in community with people. You know, we're social animals, aren't we? So for me, yeah, definitely out in store.
What is your favourite part of this role then? What is the thing that you love the most?
So I love being around people, being with people, encouraging people to be better than they can be. And you know, a lot of the people in store will say that I will bring the best out of them. And you know what, they bring the best out in me as well. Put me in line sometimes as well, you know.
I think that's really refreshing to hear, right? And you hear within when I'm going out into stores, and I'm sure Sophie is exactly the same. You get this real family feel a lot of the time as well. So I think that's really great to hear that resonates throughout the rest of the business and not just isolated within certain stores. But
Definitely.
I think that's.
I'm going to say though, not all jobs are perfect. There's got to be something that kind of, you know, can be a little bit annoying, frustrating, or is there a part of the job that isn't as fun and enjoyable?
I mean, you know, maybe attitudes, you know, in customers and people, but you know what, we can all overcome those. Attitudes are just fear-based. So, you know, a couple of words of wisdom off me and we can get rid of the attitude and the fear and we can all, you know, go on a lovely path.
Oh, and I'm sure you're doing that. Before we wrap up though, I have to ask you, what is Wendy in the Window all about?
Oh my gosh, Wendy in the Window. Okay, I'll tell you what that's all about. So, that's about recruiting people of, you know, my generation, my age, and, you know, not being scared to go out there, change career, life happens, you know, we have ebbs and flows, and my life went on a down, and that's one of the reasons why I came into EE, to stand up there on my own, total different career, something really scary. Never really done anything, I never done retail before actually. And just getting out in the world, and because I did that, you know, you come through your adversity, and here I am now really wanting people my age to come into this industry to see, you know, what a social environment it is, and not really being scared, you know. So it's to encourage people who maybe sit at home worried to death, you know. 50 is the new 21. I absolutely 50s is a new 21, so go back to being 21, restarting again, revamping your career and your life if you need to.
Love that.
What an absolutely fantastic message to end this interview on. Wendy, thank you
thank you so much for joining us. It's been lovely to get to know you a little bit better.
Thank you for inviting me.
It was lovely to hear from Wendy. Ash and I had a great day catching up and hearing her stories and her experiences. She's definitely shared how much she's learned, but also still continues to learn, and also the beautiful relationships she's building with customers. You know, who doesn't love some free chocolate? Next time you walk by an EE store, why not have a look and see if you can find Wendy in the window? She's probably there somewhere. So definitely, hopefully that gives you an idea of a bit of a feel for what it is to work here and some of the great things you get up to. That leads us into the question of who do we look for? And we touched on this in the interview, but the perception is that we look for the young techie people to join our business. But in actual fact, we're looking for a diverse team of people who have a variety of different skills and experiences to bring to our teams. The biggest part of these roles is connecting with others. It's about finding out who they are, what they're interested in. This helps us be able to tailor our services and recommendations to our customers' needs. You'll also get to hear some great stories along the way and meet some amazing people too. I know I personally have, coming from store myself. So really, we are looking for anyone that loves to talk to people that enjoy solving problems, people that are passionate about delivering a great customer experience, and anyone that's eager to learn new skills. If you know your thing when it comes to technology, then that's great. But if you don't know anything about technology, then that's also great. We have the tools and systems to support you knowing everything you need to know, whether that be how to communicate effectively or how our broadband works. We've got it covered, and that's what keeps me in a job. So talking about our recruitment process, in line with our values, we like to keep our recruitment process as simple as possible. So firstly, we need to attract great people. This event today is a brilliant opportunity for us. Our store managers are always on the lookout in their local communities. We have a Work for EE Facebook page, please do check it out. And our website lists all of our available roles and is really easy to use and filter down to your location. We have plenty of jobs live, part-time, full-time, and we can offer great flexibility too. In my team, we have people who are currently job sharing to work around family commitments. We have some people that have fixed working days or fixed shift patterns. So if you are interested, the first step is to check out those positions and get that application in. So as for the application, it's not about what's on your CV. The application consists of an online test, which is a combination of situations, ability, and personality, giving everyone a fair and equal opportunity. It is nothing too complex or scary. It just gives us a chance to get to know you a little bit better. Once you've done that, our recruitment team will then get in touch with you and work through the selection process. If successful, you'll have a face-to-face interview with the store manager or regional manager, depending on the role that you're applying for. Now, this interview is a mixture of activity and questions, again, giving you the best chance to demonstrate what you're all about. We want you to be you, and we embrace having a diverse team here. In the interview, what's really important as well is you'll get to experience what it feels like to be in store. This will then help you make sure and decide that this is the right role for you. So there really is nothing to lose and everything to gain. So if you do decide to join us, it's really important that I share with you what's in it for you. So let's take a look at the benefits on offer. I have to say, EE really do look after their people, and there are amazing benefits. I'll highlight a few, but there are so many. So we have an award-winning development program called Aspire to help you fulfill your potential. Now, I have personally benefited from that program, and that's got me into the role that I had dreamed about for quite some time. Our learning platform, Digital Academy, helps you keep up to date and teaches you everything you need to know. There's a competitive salary on offer, along with different ways to earn even more through commission and incentives. Got loads of competitions as well, some amazing stuff to be won. There are brilliant discounts to get you connected to our brilliant mobile and broadband network, so you can experience the best of both and get a great deal on it. You get 25 days holiday pro rata. On top of that, you get your birthday day off and 3 volunteering days per year so that you can give back to your local communities or support your chosen charities. There's also plenty of great support for your well-being, such as professional services, discounted gym memberships, a cycle to work scheme, and a competitive healthcare plan. There are multiple discounts on well-known brands, saving you money on your favourite products or even just your weekly shop. Really handy this time of the year as well, when you've got a lot of things to buy and it's very expensive. We all love a discount, and there are a lot of them. And also there are some amazing offers on tech for the home. So we've got gaming, home security, lots of stuff there. I could be here for ages telling you about all of these benefits, but hopefully that just gives you an idea of what's on offer and gets you a little bit excited. So I've told you a lot now about what it is to, what we offer you, what we look for, how you apply, and giving you an idea of what we're focusing on and our big ambitions. We've heard from Wendy, which was lovely to hear her experiences. And now would love to go and hear from a couple more people. So we're now going to head over and see what Chris and Cliff had to say when we caught up with them. So we're here with Chris and Cliff. Thank you both. It's lovely to have you here. Tell us about yourselves.
Well, I'm only ever 21. Yeah, I'm Chris. I'm store manager at Kings Lynn, down in Norfolk. Been in the game quite a long time, and came to work for EE back in 2016. Started off in Fakenham, so now I've moved over to Kings Lynn as store manager.
Nice. And Cliff, what about yourself?
So I'm Cliff Hollett. I've been in EE since 2018, so I've been in the industry for about 12 years, working in the independent sector to start with, and then moving over to EE and enjoying myself thoroughly.
Oh, it's good to hear. And you're a couple, yes, so how do you find that, both working for the same company?
Really good.
Speaks 1,000 words,
Yeah.
that really, doesn't it?
Yeah, we're not in the same store.
What's the conversation like over dinner?
Not work.
That's
We
good.
keep
That's good to hear.
we keep that to just the cats. So we'll talk to the cats about work, but no, we keep the professional lives out of home life as much as we can.
Yeah, you've got to have a break, haven't you?
100%. I think that's
all the time.
really, really important, isn't it? And I know that we talk a lot about well-being within the business at the moment, and that will obviously play a huge part of that. Now, with you both being in different stores, different regions, how would you say that things are different in the stores that you guys work in at the moment?
I guess for me, my store's always clean and quiet, and we've got a great mix of people from 18 to 21. How's it different to your store? Your store's all male?
Yeah, our store is all male. It's slightly smaller, but they're probably both about the same sort of, totally the same size. But we just don't work on a Sunday, which is quite nice on some occasions. But yeah, it's a fully male store at the moment. Not through want of trying to bring in the ladies. I think the ladies were there before. But unfortunately we haven't been able to recruit them.
I think that's a really important point that you start to raise. Obviously, as we start to look at the mix of people that we have in our store, whether that's male to female, also looking at the different demographics as well. Like Chrissy, you're a store manager. When you're looking at recruiting, how important is it to have a wide range of ages within your store?
It's really important. You get the guys who are the tech guys, and I've still got my tech guys that I go to, even though I've done this for many moons. I've still got the ones who are absolutely passionate about how long the battery's going to last. So the ones who just want to talk to customers. And I think it's really important to have the people who are people, as well as those that are really tech reliant. And I can switch myself across the room and go, "Oi, how long's the battery going to last in this one?" And then go back to talking to my customer about anything and everything. And I think it's really important to have a greater age in there that people can actually empathise or really relate to different customer experiences and different life experiences that happen throughout our lives. An 18-year-old can't talk to a 50-year-old about death or whatever, and yet we can, and we can be really sympathetic about it. I'm not saying 18-year-olds can't, just they're less likely to have experienced it. So,
it's true though. I mean, I'm not the most techie. I don't buy things off kind of the spec and stuff. I buy it based on what I think is going to be right for me. So you don't necessarily need to always know that. Would you agree with that, Cliff?
Definitely. So from my perspective, tech, non-tech. So I find it absolutely brilliant. So working in the stores, I get to communicate with a lot of the younger guys and ask them. So if I'm talking to a customer and I'm chatting to them and we're having a conversation and I then have a problem, I turn to some of the younger guys and say, you know, can you help me with this? And having them helping out, but then they also can flip it on me, whereby they come and ask me because of certain experiences that I may have had and things that I've seen over the time and periods that I've been working. So it's a two-way street, which is absolutely brilliant.
100%. And as technology advances, obviously we're now seeing foldable phones, the flips and things like that. How do you both, obviously because your roles are very different, how do you both keep up with these new emerging technologies?
Do you know what? My customers often say to me, how do you keep up with it? What they forget is they're only coming in every 2 years, and it's a 2-year cycle that we see them, hopefully. Maybe, you know, we might see them for a hi and how are you in between, but generally we only see them every 2 years.
Yeah.
So we're seeing these changes daily, weekly, however, and we're only taking in little tiny bits of information at a time and adding them to our arsenal already. So really it's not taking on that much more, it's just a little bit at a time. But if you took me out of it for 2 years and put me back in, you know, then you can put yourself in the customer's position and go, actually, I can see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
You know, the difference is this year we just had iPhone 14 from iPhone 12. You know, not that much difference, but sufficient for a customer, and and release in between.
Excellent. And Cliff, what do you feel that the company does in terms of that support as well for keeping you up to date with all of these new emerging technologies?
He loves Digital Academy.
Don't we all love Digital Academy?
Yes, no, I mean, obviously the Digital Academy is absolutely brilliant because it's crucial as we move forward. It's covering a wide spectrum of topics. It doesn't just cover, obviously, the tech side of it. So there's a whole wide spectrum in there which you're constantly learning and relearning. So it's not a case, so we are going back into that and having to relearn it and redo it every year. So there's certain stuff that has to be redone and it's rejigged. But obviously as the tech comes through, you're at least able to have a look at the tech, get the basics. If you're a tech nerd, great. If you're not, but you get the basics, and that's the important bits that you can actually communicate to your customers on a level. If you need to get the experts in, then great, you do have those in store.
Yeah.
It sounds like the customer is always the focal point, the heart of everything you do. Cliff, why would you say customer experience is so important?
It's one of the reasons I joined EE.
Brilliant.
So I've always been in a customer environment, so always having to look after the customer has always been number one. And when I was looking around and looking for something to do, EE was one of the few companies that actually was promoting customer service and going down that particular route, which I could empathise with and actually move forward and say, do you know what, I actually like the way they're thinking, and I will come in, because looking after your customers, and I see it daily, customers coming in and they just love being looked after. They just want that experience where they are their sole attention. You're looking after them and they just love that. And I love doing it, that's why I'm there.
I was going to say, I bet you find out loads of really interesting stuff about people, don't you? Hear the stories, you know.
Can't repeat those.
Disclosure, yeah.
Confidential information there.
I mean, you've spoken a lot about like customer and the job itself and learning the stuff, and it's great to hear that you feel that you're supported to be able to kind of fill in the gaps where the knowledge isn't there. When it comes to development, Chris, how have you been supported on your journey to store manager?
Okay, so I came into the business, into EE, from mobile. I'd say all my life I've done mobile. But obviously technology changes, processes change, different ways of helping people get through well-being, all that sort of thing. So I've done 2 Aspire journeys, one to assistant store manager and one to store manager. Brilliant, met loads of people, loads of handy hints and tips all along the way. And they're really, really good for anybody wanting to do development. It's not just about the journey, it's about communicating with people, making connections, and I think that's the Aspire journey for me, was about making connections and getting through, not just getting through the journey, advancing through the career and giving you extra confidence and extra knowledge that actually probably I didn't have before I did the Aspire journeys, and I really enjoyed it.
And that's
enjoyed
what
them.
Aspire, our development program, is all about, isn't it? You know, you've already got some great skills, and we can help enhance those.
Yep,
with,
absolutely.
and maybe sometimes challenge the way we think, look at different ways. Yeah,
100%.
keeps us on our toes.
I suppose with that as well, right? When we look at development, obviously we've got that linear path through retail, but for some people, you just might want to. You're happy where you are, you're comfortable, and as we have new products, new services, and new ways that we can touch our customers in digital formats and things like that, we've also got our advisors on the front line as well that are going to need that development. So Cliff, moving on to that side of it, as someone who's face to face with the customers all the time, how have you found the change moving into a hybrid world where we're not only speaking to customers face to face, but also remotely over the phone and things like that?
So that's a great challenge. Obviously, being customer facing, enjoying being the people interaction. I think that's where we are in retail. But moving on to that hybrid world, you then learn a completely different skill set.
Yeah.
So it's a different communication, a different way of talking to people, but you're still talking to people, and there's still people on the other end of phones, and they still have lots of stories to tell you, and they all want to tell those stories, and if once you get them talking, they're sometimes very difficult to get off the phone. So they will want to talk to you all the time. But I think it's quite important for retail to actually embrace that hybrid journey, because it is very relevant for us moving forward.
100%. I think we were flung into it at the beginning of COVID.
Yeah.
You know, right at the beginning of COVID, you decided to have a heart attack while I was left in.
Yeah, this is true.
Inside having
This is true.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
So I was inside the house, he was outside sunning himself, but I was doing the calls. And then later on, you had to start doing them. So
I did the calls as well. So
mini call centre at home, that was fun.
only let me off for a little while for the heart attack.
Little break.
So yeah, being flung into that, but actually it was a really good experience to be able to talk to the customers. I was assistant manager at the time doing the calls, so from an experience point of view and learning and listening to customers, I can throw that up to my team and show them how to talk to customers, how to listen to them. And I think the hybrid side of things, it's more about listening. You can't judge somebody's face what they're looking for, but you can on hybrid, and it's a whole different skill set. And I'm really pleased to see it coming into stores, because as the stores and the footfall goes down, it's another way of keeping us relevant.
Absolutely.
100%. It's another way that we can communicate with our customers, and another way that we can still deliver that award-winning service that we offer, right? So I think it's brilliant that we're starting to make this step change towards a different
And it does teach the advisors to actually listen and really listen to the customer and actively listen.
It's an art, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Actively listening, it's an art.
It is an art, apparently. But yeah, those that have done hybrid are really performing well on the shop floor as well. So it's really good. Enjoy it.
What is your favourite bit about working for EE, both of you?
People.
People?
I just love people.
I thought you might say that. Yeah, I'm picking up on that.
I do like. It's not just our customers. It's the people inside the stores as well. So you know, obviously the teams that I've worked in, and I've been in 4 stores, and great people. Great to meet them, and they're just fun to have around. And then the customers. There's lots of great customers out there that we serve. So I just love the people.
I think I like helping my team. I find it really difficult to not jump in on conversations with my advisors and their customers. I just enjoy that. Slow down and talk to people.
Yeah.
But also pass on some experience. I mean, 32 years in the industry, it's quite long, and I can pass on a lot of knowledge. I love that bit of it, passing on.
But like you say, just talk to people, get to know them, and then the rest will come, yeah?
It's my one regret is that I can't work with Chris.
Oh.
I would love to learn and learn from the experience that she has, because I've come into the retail side late, so 4 years ago. I don't have the experience, and I'd love to be able to tap into that knowledge, but of course...
Not over dinner.
No.
No, that might get burnt.
So Cliff, what's next for you? You're an advisor. Have you got any aspirations to move into a different role?
So I've come into, as I said, retail quite late. So in this area, I've been in retail before, but I actually spent an awful lot of time in the compliance arena. So about 10 years on the independent sector as a compliance manager, and that sort of would interest me moving forward, is to perhaps divert into the compliance arena, try and help the guys and see where there's problems, see if we can fix those, because there's a lot of things for the guys to learn and remember, and they do need guidance from time to time.
Absolutely, and with things constantly changing as well, again, policies, processes, things like
Everything.
that.
So I think New Directions would be absolutely brilliant in that respect. So to be able to perhaps divert myself away onto something else, without having to necessarily follow the traditional path, you can then divert, and I think that's where New Directions would perhaps kick in.
It'd be perfect, wouldn't it? Get a mentor in that area of the business and start to explore other roles. It's a huge place here with
It really is.
endless opportunities.
Well, it's
never too old.
Never too old.
Definitely never too old.
I suppose I have one final question for both of you, right? So for anybody that's watching this that is possibly a little bit tentative about applying for the job, what advice would you give based on the experiences that you've both had?
Apply.
Yeah.
Apply.
You might
There we go.
get me as to interview you, as long as you can talk, I'll interview. That's all I ask. Tech, systems, I can teach you. They're not difficult.
Awesome. Cliff?
Yeah, I think if you're a people's person, if you like people, if you like to enjoy a bit of camaraderie amongst your teams, it's a great environment to be in, on the shop floors, chatting to your team, to customers. I think you benefit, you learn lots.
For me, as long as my guys want to do the right thing for the customers, and that's something that I see with EE, we are able to do the right thing for the customer. It's great. We're not pushed to do things that are not right.
Yeah.
So do the right thing.
And apply, yeah.
Apply.
Just do it. Just do it.
Just get on and do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for coming and sharing a little bit more about yourselves and your story and your journey. We really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You know, it's been so nice to be able to spend some time with Wendy, Chris and Cliff. As you can see from those interviews, they all have different experiences, different skill sets, different personalities as well, and definitely some different aspirations there, you know, people looking at different things. And that's the point, and we really want to get this across. We need a diverse team of people. We don't just want a diverse team, we need a diverse team to create the best experiences for our customers. I have to say, it's lovely to see some of your comments coming through and saying that you feel inspired and encouraged. I'm really pleased to hear that, because for now, that is it from me in regards to telling you more about stuff. But I really hope you've enjoyed this event. And I hope that after today, you might be encouraged to come and join us. Like Chris and Cliff said, you know, just apply. So if you are interested, please do check out our website. All our available roles are on there. And if you're intrigued and would like to learn more, then please do get in touch. Details will follow in a few moments. But I just want to say thank you all very much for your time today. And Claire, I'll hand back to you.
Sure, thank you. Wow, that was great. Really enjoyed it. And yeah, if you want to explore any of the current vacancies that Retail EE has, they're all included in the link in the chat box below. And if you have any other questions that haven't been answered, you can also email the recruitment team. And I believe Chris, Claire have put their email addresses in the chat box. Unfortunately, this does bring things to a close. So thank you so much to Sophie, Chris, Claire, Wendy, Chris and Cliff and Ash for joining us this lunchtime, this kind of very chilly Thursday lunchtime, and for hosting such a great event. It's been really interesting and super helpful. Of course, thank you to all of our members who have joined us today and for all of your great questions. I hope you found it helpful. As mentioned, this event is being recorded and will be shared with you in the coming days. It's also available to view on our YouTube channel. It'll also be on our site if you just give us a few days to get that uploaded. Enjoy the rest of your day. And just to say, once the event is closed, unfortunately it closes for everyone. So it's sort of the nature of these events, and apologies to anyone who might have liked to stay and chat. So yes, goodbye and thank you, and enjoy your days.